Hey, this is Tom Jacobs from tdjacobs.com, and this is kind of a quick update on some crystal stuff that I've been thinking about and working on. I'm an evolutionary astrologer and a channel and an energy worker, but a lot of my time and energy over the last few years has turned into working with crystals of various kinds. Whether it's lower chakra crystals for grounding or really high vibrating crystals I'm going to talk about today, I've really learned a tremendous amount about infusing crystals and stones with energy. Then they will give up energy into your field, pulse or feed energy into your field, so you can make changes for the better. I can tell you stuff in a reading. I can do energy work on you. You can do affirmations. You can change your mind, but there's an energetic interruption that's really critical because sometimes we're so habituated and seduced by fear, pain, anger, grief, sorrow, resentment, whatever, feeling sorry for ourselves, whatever it is, that it's hard to change patterns. So the crystals are all about that. If you want to understand the rationale for this, I just gave you a few seconds, but if you want to understand the rationale, go to a video called Why Use Energetically Programmed Crystals from sometime in mid to late 2016 on this channel, the video from me, where I explained it in detail. Today I'm going to talk about Auralite 23 and Moldavite. This is what Auralite 23 looks like. It's primarily amethyst. I'll turn it, you can kind of maybe get a better view. But where you see, like here at the top, it's a little greenish, but also when you see like little inclusions and little things that make it look dirty. Anyway, those are metals. At least 17 of up to 23, hence Auralite 23, metals are included. Now, amethyst is pretty prevalent, comes from a lot of different places, but Auralite 23 specifically comes from Northern Ontario in Canada, from a particular mine. And it's speculated that meteorite hits the earth and there are metals in it. That's the speculation. Another kind of thing related to a little bit related to meteor is the now I'm blanking because I'm on that frequency, Moldavite. So they're both very high vibrating crystals, but the more I work with, I spent a lot of time with Auralite over the last couple of years, but the more I work with Moldavite, and especially today, is just something kind of snapped into focus and I wanted to capture on a video and share it with you. First, I want to say that a lot of people are taught doing spiritual work, or I want to heal this, I want to evolve. They're taught to go into the upper chakras. And I teach you have to go into the lower chakras first. So if you hear some of the things I say about these crystals in this video and you say, that is amazing, I would love to evolve in a high-minded spiritual way and overcome all of my problems, I want you to realize that you have to go down to the root and start with either tiger iron, right? Tiger iron, or as I showed you a few minutes ago, hematite. Not that magnetic stuff that's perfect, but this, where you can see there are like pits and there are different colors. This is the stuff to use. I just added it to my website actually yesterday. I've been working with it for a couple of months, and it is different than the tiger iron. But anyway, lower chakra grounding is so important first. When the lower three chakras are clear and open, or at least in process and being addressed, you're bringing compassion to the fears related to those lower three chakras. Then the upper four chakras can relax open naturally, and you don't have to force your way up to evolve and force your way into compassion, trying to have compassion, whatever. So anyway, as I talk about these high vibrating crystals, keep in mind, to do it well, it's important to go down into the lower chakras and really work through any issues in those lower three chakras. Family, survival, is life supportive issues, where I come from, the culture I live in. That's the root chakra. Second chakra, relationships, money, creativity, sexuality, give and take, flow, being willing to receive, being willing to give, right? And then third chakra, self-esteem, personal power, self-respect. The self-image in your third chakra is a battery that powers the rest of your life. So those are the lower three chakras. You have to, and guilt, shame, and regret, and self-doubt live in the third chakra. So we have to work through those things, or at least be in a consciously intentional path of working through them before we should really do upper chakra work. This is reflected in the chakra course that I put out last year. I'm really thrilled about it and its effects. The first three chakras, you can buy it in one set altogether, or you can buy it in the first chakra set and then the second chakra. And I do that just for if you're on a budget, or if you're not committed to the whole thing, but you really want to get the lower chakra thing. And the lower chakra, the lower chakra set, the first three chakras are what I combine everything that Jehudi, the Ascended Master I work with, also known as Saint Germain, Thoth, and Merlin, I combine everything he teaches me into 1 hour with no distractions. Like I teach us stuff in classes, but we have to listen to each other's stories a lot. This is just the undiluted, distilled into one teaching. And then the second set, or part 2, chakras 4 through 7, are entirely channeled and very powerful. But again, you have to go to the lower chakras first. So anyway, just recommend those tools for you. Regarding the Auralite 23 and the Moldavite, I've used Auralite 23, as I said. Here, I'll just show you another piece. A piece I experimented with polishing. Not quite. It's so wonderful. I don't want to waste any of it, so I don't grind it down. But this one I did. I kind of ground down one side of it. You can see some of that discoloration I'm talking about in there, even like the little like prism things in the middle there. Some of those are metals in there shining back. So I spent a lot of time with it, including putting pieces, charged pieces, energetically programmed pieces in water and drinking the water. I don't know if this will work with every stone. It doesn't with, for example, Larimar. I did it with this piece. I couldn't tell any difference at all. But pectolite, this is blue pectolite, is very different from other, crystal structures just because they vary. So it works with tiger iron, I know for sure, and it works with Auralite 23. And I'm going to play with it with Moldavite, but I'm not sure. I'll post again with some details if it turns out that it works with Moldavite. But Auralite 23 is kind of a 7th chakra stone. Actually, wait a minute. You can see the dirty part on the backside better. If you can see those little like maroon rusty parts. Can you see that? You can see that. Okay. So it's a kind of a 7th chakra stone. I use it all the time when I'm channeling. And what it does is it can help you disconnect or not relate to the voice of negativity, the voice of criticism and judgment within you. So for me, that voice of criticism happens quite often. But when I use Auralite 23, whether I drink the water or whether I carry a piece in my pocket or hold it while I sleep, which I've done a lot over the last couple of years, I'm simply not identifying with that voice. It doesn't banish negativity. It just helps me not identify as the criticism or the negativity. The reason it does this is because it connects you vibrationally to your higher self. So if you ever wonder, what is in my highest good? If you always wonder, what would my spirit guides say about what is in my highest good? Auralite 23 is a fantastic stone to use. And this has helped me overcome a lot. And drinking the water has helped me stay positive and open to what's in front of me, right? That's going to figure prominent when I talk about the Moldavite in a few minutes. But the Auralite 23 has helped me, as I've said elsewhere in different videos and MP3s, it's helped me. I've spent a number of years asking questions before bed and then getting answers in dreams from my guides and other helpers, and then waking up in the morning and writing them down eagerly. Then I spent a number of years having a feeling of doom and dread follow me in my dreams. So I did not like dreaming. I wasn't resting. I wasn't relaxing. I wasn't surrendering. An idea of kind of a 7th chakra stone is related to the 7th chakra, surrender. You might look at this and say it's purple, so it must be for the heart. That's fine too. Some people use green and other people use pink for the heart. Some people might say purple. It's all good. But there's a definite sense of being willing to adapt to a higher frequency and let go of some of the lower frequency. Part of you will always be critical. Part of you, if you have self-doubt, part of you will always doubt yourself. But your relationship with and your conception of who that part is it who you are or is it something that's happening? That's really important. So Auralite 23 can help you with that. Now, the thing with these programmed crystals for most of the crystals is once you memorize the frequency, you don't need to carry the stone anymore. This happens with tiger iron, like where somebody, here's another tiger iron, where somebody gets one of these, and you can kind of see the different materials in there, hematite, red jasper, and gold tiger eye. Actually sideways, it's not fully polished, but sideways you can kind of see the contrast better. Yeah, there we go. Somebody might get one of these and hold it every night for 3 or 4 or 5 months while sleeping. And it can actually help bring energy out of the head so you can relax down into the lower chakras. And then after a while, you get that grounded sense, you get that feeling, and you maybe don't need to carry it all the time, or you lose it and you say, oh, I lost it, but it's actually fine because it's okay. If it's lost, you may not need it anymore. That's the logic. It comes when you need it. It leaves when you might not need it, or when you maybe need a different piece. A client of mine just, I'm mailing this off to her today. She apparently lost her labradorite sphere that she's in love with, so she's getting another one. And she knows it's not time to stop using it. It's just sometimes we need to change. I got this thing with the memorization with a lot of the lower chakra stones. But because there's something about being embodied, being willing to be in your body, feeling what's happening in your feet, your legs, your hips, like feeling your butt as you sit on it, feeling your lower back, being in touch with your body in a really grounded way that can train you in a certain way. When it comes to these upper chakra stones, including like pink opal and up, I don't think I have a pink opal in here. Anyway, for me, I don't memorize the frequencies as much because they're less embodiable. Opening the heart is something to do all the time, but it's not like something I memorized in the same way as, oh, chill out, be in your body, connect to the earth. So it's a little different. So with the Auralite 23, this is what I'm getting. I'm just telling a story about using these upper chakra stones. I have had the experience of when I don't use it all the time, getting far, far away from it and feeling far away from it. And ultimately regretting that because that negative voice within me takes over again. So this is one of the reasons why on my website, I think right now there are some, but later today I'll put up more, but there are little Auralite 23 pieces that are perfect for smaller bottles and glasses of water. So in my kitchen, I have this 1.5 gallon glass thing with a spigot. And if you've seen me at a psychic fair or an expo or something, I've had it with me. And I have a larger piece like one of these in there. But for smaller things, I'll take one of the little ones and put it in like a Trader Joe's bottle, like a tall 1.5-liter bottle, and I'll put it in and then I just dump it out when I'm done. But even if it were hard to get out, you could just cut the bottle. But anyway, that's why I program these smaller pieces of Auralite 23 too, so it's easier to take with you. So anyway, I drink the water much more frequently so that if I'm not carrying the stone, I don't get away from that benefit. So that's one of the things about the Auralite 23 and the water. I highly encourage you to drink the water because you don't have to think. You don't have to remember to carry the stone every day. You don't have to worry about dropping the stone. Like keep a big container on your kitchen counter and fill up your water bottle with it every day, leave the house, and you have it. The charge will stay in the water. Now, when I talk about energetically programming things, because there are people who put normal crystals in water and then put them in the sun and they charge them that way. That's how they talk about it, or moonlight even. What I'm doing is, as an energy worker, I'm altering my frequency and then I'm pushing certain particular frequencies into the stone. So this is not programmed with sun energy. It's not programmed with moon energy, not even, as basic as my positive intention, which as an energetic being, as a portion of the divine, you can certainly charge things with intention. But it's charged with energy work, energy that I do on people. So it's really active and really powerful. So you don't have to do anything. And as you leave the crystal at home and you take the bottle of water with you, it's charged. The energy is in the water. You don't have to worry about carrying the stone around with you. That's why one of those things on the counter that has a stone in it all the time is a great idea. So disconnect from the negative self. Like listen to it. Say, oh, right, part of me is, judging, or part of me is unhappy about that, right? Connect to the wisdom of your higher self, which means connecting to the wisdom of your spirit guides. So the last thing I'll say about the Auralite 23 is it has helped me understand what guidance I have received that I don't want to hear. My personality, my brain, the part of me that wants to protect myself from difficulty or prevent embarrassment or something like that. There are lots of stories over the years, but the basic idea is your spirit guides have your highest good in mind. As I said, if you ever ask yourself, what is in my highest good? Auralite 23 is a great stone to work with because it connects you to that higher level of wisdom coming through. Well, you might be told this thing is good for you, and then it takes a week and you do it, and you might feel a little emotionally fucked up afterwards. You might feel a little emotionally scarred. And I've had that experience where I've said, whatever you tell me to do next that serves my highest good, I'll do it without reservation. And then I go through this really embarrassing scenario to show me how prone to embarrassment I am. It's in my highest good to get over being embarrassed. being embarrassable, right? But I have to go through that difficulty to have that revealed. So my guides are like, you need to do this thing that, might be hard for you. Same with guidance that's come through over the years about relationships, about family issues, about career, about creativity, all these kinds of things where I've either gotten my own guidance for myself, like I'm sitting and talking with my guides, or I'm getting it in dreams, or I go to practitioners like me. Sometimes intuitives have to go to other intuitives, of course. And this Auralight 23 has helped me accept that logic of the guides, because it's the logic of my soul, because I'm not here to avoid embarrassment. I'm here to heal. I'm here to learn how to be human. I'm here to learn how to go from fear and pain, sorrow, resentment, regret, shame, guilt, doubt, into faith, compassion, acceptance, love. That's what every human is here to do. Giant truck. So everybody's on that path. So when you get guidance, you're going to be told to do things that are hard for you, because you have to overcome your fear, your doubt, your guilt, your shame, your regret, your grief, your anger, whatever. So this is, when I have those moments when I see it with clarity, like I'm drinking the water, I carry a stone around a little bit, one of the Auralight 23s. When I have that moment, it's sudden clarity with peace. And so I'm able to accept the higher truth, because I'm more connected to my higher self than I usually am. So that's the Auralight 23. And again, one of those, if I leave it aside and I don't drink the water, with the charge, then I will get away from it, and I will start to get into that negative mind again. Now, shifting gears to Moldavite. This is the larger Moldavite that I recently purchased for myself. It's 21 grams. It's actually kind of big. Normally, my Moldavites are, well, here's one I wrapped, and this one's probably 6 or 7 grams. And yeah, and then there's another one that I've been carrying around. I find it really, this is probably 7 or 8. I find it really beneficial when I'm working with the stone and need to have it really fill my body, have the energy fill my body, to hold one in each hand at a time. So like with the, here, I'll show you these. The first pieces of Auralight that I bought for myself are these gigantic ones. This one's I guess about 15 ounces, almost a pound. And this one is, I don't know, 10 or something. And yeah, and so your energy is constantly giving up, your body is constantly giving off energy. Your field is broadcasting, and these reflect energy to it. So one in each hand can really help get the vibration in you and help you feel really solid and really aligned with it. So when I slept with Auralight in the beginning, it was like this. It was these giant ones in each hand. I've done that with all different stones, sleeping with one in each hand. Dendritic opal last night, for just smoothing things out, my energy field, because I'm kind of, that full moon the other day in Libra was right on my Uranus in the first house, which is conjunct Mars. So I had like a lot of energy and emotion and anger and just fire bubbling up. And so I really felt messed up last night, and I actually had a migraine yesterday. So when it was starting to go away, I used the dendritic opal to just smooth things out. It kind of smooths out all 7 chakras. But anyway, with the Moldavite, I do carry the 2 often. When I first started using Moldavite, I used one little piece, and I would put it kind of between my fingers like this, and then I would pick up a Larimar, and then I would have an Auralight 23, and then also a sea jasper in this other hand. That's how I channel. That's often how I teach. At minimum, I use Larimar because it helps keep the 5th chakra aligned with what's true. So my brain doesn't take over with wanting to be funny or telling personal stories, whatever. It's just like connected with truth. That's the Larimar thing. But the Moldavite boosted the effect of whatever other crystal I held. I didn't use it with like a grounding thing like tiger iron or hematite. I didn't use it that way. But with any of these other things, it boosted it. So at an expo in Denver in September, I caught up with this vendor who sells Moldavite, and I had bought it from his booth before. And but anyway, I bought these new pieces, including this big one for me. And what I realized recently with Moldavite is you might have to dance with it, because it will have a global effect in your energy field. It will have a profound, serious effect, like when you're ready. Like, have you seen this and you're like, Motivate's awesome. I want Motivate. Oh, it's great. Or somebody told me I should have Motivate. No, you have to be drawn to it. You have to know that it's for you. When you get it, you might have something in your body, in your field, your digestion, your brain, your headache, your muscles, something might shift because it's changing the shape of your energy field. Now, then you might need to put it down for a few days. For me, I would get intense headaches and I would feel disoriented and drugged in a not good way. Not blissed out, like confused and altered, like I'm an alien or something. So I'd put it away and then I'd pick it up again. And anyway, I did that dance for a while. And I always tell people when they get the Motivate, it might be your best friend for 3 weeks or 2 days. And then you might put it away for a month or longer. And then it's going to be your best friend again. Just trust that the timing is right. When you're drawn to it, or when it appears to you, when it kind of calls out to you from that little box on the shelf, then it's time. Well, what I was realizing this morning with the Motivate is this idea of it changes the shape of your energy field. As I've thought about that recently, or over the last couple of years, as I've taught about it and started selling them, selling program versions, it seemed like there was less room for negativity. So similarly to this idea of, with the Auralite, connecting with your higher self or the wisdom of your guides, that higher level of truth, there's something in here of that too. Yet this requires a lot more focused time once you adjust to it. So like now I can carry it every day. I didn't for a couple of days. When all that shit was coming up with the full moon on my Uranus, I was like, can I deal? Like I tried to use some other things to calm down, but this isn't really calming for me. But anyway, I was filled with the negativity. So this didn't match, if you know what I mean. So that's why I say when you're ready for it, there's an opening and you can use it. But what I realized this morning on the walk is it's not pushing negative energy out. It's reshaping all the times I'm using it and carrying it and holding it and sleeping with it. It's shaping my energy field. So it's changing the shape of my energy field, not to purge something, but to make it so that I'm not using it, connecting with it, relying on it. I almost can't even hear the negativity when I use the Motivate. And the difference with the Auralite 23 is that I can hear the negativity, but I know it's not me. It's not who I really am. But with the Motivate, it's just outmoded. It's outdated. I can have compassion for it, but it doesn't come in. And that's the idea. With the Auralite 23, you say, okay, right, I have that part of me. Let me have compassion for it. But with the Motivate, there just isn't room for it. And as I was walking with it this morning, after not carrying it for 2.5 days or something, I felt optimistic. And Auralite 23 doesn't do that. It helps you stay present so you can interact with the world in an open way. But this actually made me feel like I was stepping forward. I was, and I reiterate, during Sagittarius of 2016, toward the end of the year, so late November to late December, it was the featured crystal, and I did a video on it. And I talked about how I really feel like the properties of Sagittarius, expansion. We have to drop what's negative before we can pick up what's positive. That's a Jupiterian 9th house Sagittarius idea. And so for me, the Motivate really, I'm reinforcing that image I had then of forward looking, taking a step forward, taking a risk, putting yourself out there, giving yourself the benefit of the doubt, believing in yourself. That's more of what the Motivate is about. If you want to know about the origins of Motivate and kind of how I see that, check out that video from probably late November of 2016, maybe early December, but Motivate featured crystal for Sagittarius. So they're different, but they're both helping you to incorporate more positivity and release more negativity. Step away from some of that negativity. Somebody just posted a video in a Facebook group I'm part of. Some Silicon Valley execs talking about the glass half full, the glass half empty. Happiness is how you view this glass. And it was actually 1/3 empty and 2/3 full. I don't know what kind of a mental trick that is. But anyway, he was talking about how you view it, how you interpret it. Basically, do you give, my kind of commentary or addition, do you give life the benefit of the doubt? Appreciate what's there, he was saying. And both of these stones can help me do that. The Motivate a little more so. Oh, I do want to say that regarding the Motivates, most of them on my site, whoops, that's not Motivate. Most of them are just little ones like this, right? And then one is wrapped as a sterling silver pendant. If you see one of the other moldavites listed on my site that you really want wrapped as a pendant, contact me. It'll just be an added fee, and email me and I'll tell you what that's going to be. I'm happy to do that for you. I'm actually doing my own wire wrapping now, which I'm really excited about. They're not all perfect, but they're homemade. So like I bought this stone rough, and so it was kind of, it was rough and not polished. I polished it, and then I wrapped it myself and I charged it. So anyway, so I'm kind of like soup to nuts over here now with the stones. And anyway, so let me know if you are interested in that. So yeah, I referenced a bunch of other videos in here. You can go through my YouTube channel and see all kinds of different things. If one thing I'll also tell you to do is get the grounding meditation MP3 from tdjacobs.com. Click on the green picture. And then also the space clearing video on this channel as well. So people who are kind of drawn to Auralite 23 and Moldavite, people who are very sensitive to energy are going to need those two tools. And I hand them out for free because it's super important that we should all be on this, lowest common denominator. We should all be on the same page. Like the lowest common denominator for all of us is learning about energetic sensitivity, learning to clear energy, learning to ground, learning to stay in our bodies. And the crystals are tools to help us change our frequency to have different outcomes and to advance and grow in different ways. But those basic grounding and clearing tools are super important. So thanks for your time and energy. Take care of yourself and see more at tdjacobs.com. Bye-bye.